Hey, thank you. Welcome back to the Kingsway Podcast. Glad you're here. I have a special guest with me today. You want to introduce yourself?
Sure. My name is Donna Lewis, and I am the director of the Tri-County Pregnancy Resource Center. We're located, our brick and mortar building is currently in Aurora, Missouri, but we serve Tri-County, be it Berry, Lawrence, and Stone counties. And we are planning on expanding, but we do have a lot of clientele here in Mount Vernon as well.
Yeah, and I know our relationship is just beginning. We've had a few conversations and then a few minutes to get to know each other before this started. The reason why you're on the podcast today is kind of a cool thing. I think I've let you know a little bit of what we do, but every November here at Kingsway, we kind of do like a campaign of generosity. And so this year it's called Blessed to Bless Generosity Campaign, and we're challenging our people to basically, it's an all-out assault on their heart to let God have their money by letting God have their heart.
Love it.
So let God have your heart. He doesn't want your money. And so there's a few different ways that they can give. And one of those ways that we've chose to kind of just say, hey, this isn't everything, but this is a focus, and this is an opportunity that's right down the road that has deep impact, has been the Tri-County Pregnancy Resource Center.
It does.
And we've donated some diapers at one point before.
Yes, always diapers.
Always
diapers and wipes, yes.
And we said primarily Huggies and Pampers whenever we say that.
Yes, they will take anything.
I know they will, but some
yes.
have allergic reactions.
True.
Some not the best. I want to give a gift that doesn't say this is cheap.
Yes, Pampers. Yeah.
I mean, we use Huggies. We like Pampers too. Mm-hmm. Both of them work. I'm sure there's other good brands out there. I'm not trying to pretend like there's not. I just think it's helpful to kind of have pure instruction.
Yeah.
So here's the cool way we can do this. Obviously, you just said a little bit about yourself. How long have you been the active president over there?
I've been the director for this.
Or director.
It's fine.
Mrs.
I like CEO, but no, I'm kidding. I've been there for almost 3 years. Actually, coming up on my 3rd anniversary, just the director. But I've started volunteering in 2014. A lady came to our church, Linda Parsons. I knew her, but I didn't know that she was on the board at the time. Yeah. And she came to a women's brunch that we were all in attendance, and she just literally gave a 5-minute little overview and said that our church has partnered with them, had been partners with them. And they were going to meet with, the youth pastor and the senior pastor and everything the next day, I think, at a certain time. And I thought, I could do that. That sounds something like exactly what I want to do. My kids are a little bit older, and I had some more free time. So I invited myself to the meeting. Little did I know it wasn't an open meeting, but I showed up anyway.
That's awesome.
And so Rebecca was the director at the time, and they're like, oh, hey, come on in. So little table like this, and so I just kind of sat there and just listened. But I started volunteering the next week and volunteered for 6 years until Rebecca asked if I would take on some more duties and kind of be her assistant. And so I said, yeah, I would do that. And they asked if I, because the assistant is a paid position. I'm like, nope, not going to get paid. And, but then after about 6 months to a year of that, I was like, some of this is really not fun. So I will accept a little bit for the not fun stuff. And so I did. And then I didn't realize it, but I guess I was being groomed.
Of course you were.
Because she
discipled.
She had some family, foster kids and some family issues that made it almost impossible to continue giving the time it needed. And so she and the president of the board asked me if I would consider that. And I said, absolutely not.
That's normally how those callings work.
Yep. My husband called me Jonah for about 9 months.
Uh-huh.
And I said, nope, not going to do it. But I will, since I know everything about the center, I will help you train somebody. I will help you find somebody.
Uh-huh.
I will be the right-hand person, And so I did it. I did the position for 3 months while they were looking. And then after 3 months, the president asked if I would consider taking on the role for 6 months. And at the end of 6 months, if I still didn't want to do it, then they would find somebody. and it's been 3 years. So
that's a long 6 months.
It is. But you know what? Now I cannot imagine doing anything else.
Well, and I can tell your fire and your spirit for it, and that your heart breaks for this ministry, and it is also full of joy. And I know we're going to talk about some stories and things that have seen done. I want to give people just a little bit of insight because we did make some clarifications on you're not a crisis center primarily. This isn't something of emergency most of the time, though you can take active role. Like what does the primary way that this, the Tri-County kind of interacts and helps?
So our main thing is education.
Okay.
We have the most amazing curriculum, and it goes from prenatal, postnatal, parenting education, all the way to 18 years old. I mean, literally, we don't serve that age group, but we have it available for those parents who already have had kids that want to do, other education. Yeah. But what we do start with is they'll come in for verification of pregnancy and a pregnancy test.
Yeah.
And that way, if they're on Medicaid, say, this will help them be able to get a doctor.
Yeah.
And so that's first and foremost. And then we also offer limited ultrasounds, which is up to 14 weeks old. And we limit it to 14 weeks just because it's not really for medical purposes. It's mostly for just estimating gestational age and kind of creating that bonding experience. Because if they even think about not keeping this baby and they see that little thing on the screen with the arms and the legs, even at 8 weeks, that they can't even feel anything, it changes things. We've had actually clients, which I was a witness in there. I'm not the ultrasonographer, but she was like, really? That right now? And it's like right now. And she was like, wow, I had no idea. So that's really exciting, when we see stuff like that. So we don't get a lot of abortion-minded clients coming in. We do have a few. This area of the country, I guess, or even just this area, Midwest, they are mostly just planning on keeping their babies. They don't even question it.
There's like a pro-life kind of mentality.
It is. And so that's when we do is just pour the education on them and stuff.
Absolutely. And we talked a little bit about I think the value of wanting to partner with you is hearing that the education, and there's some programs, and I'm not trying to knock or anything, but I don't want it just to be about keeping abortions from happening, though that sounds horrible to say. I really want it to be valuing the mom and everyone around this child that is coming into the world. And I think when each party is valued at a high level, whether through education, resources, getting them the supplies and the support they need, I think it truly actually becomes a pro-life status, if that makes sense.
Yes, and we definitely support the mother just as much as we support that baby. I often tell people what we do is you can come to us early on in your pregnancy, and we have an Earn While You Learn program. So you earn points doing different things with us, and then you could spend those points in our it's incentives room, which is baby clothes, maternity clothes, all sorts of baby items, furniture, and all sorts of.
That's where the donations will go into that incentive.
That's where it all goes.
That's
yes,
awesome.
Yes. And I tell them that if you come on early in your pregnancy, we can have you prepared for baby, materials wise, education wise, emotionally wise, and by the time you have your baby without spending one dime.
You'll have the clothing, diapers, everything you'll need.
Everything.
That's incredible.
Yep, everything.
And I mean that's something that I think for me personally, knowing that I interact with enough people in this area to know that there are some heartbreaking cases where unexpected things happen, and knowing that there are resources and availabilities, it changes a lot of stuff. And I also, and this is one of the things at our church, we really like to help, but we don't want to help in a way that hurts. Right. And I think this type of program, it places value back in the mom. It allows her to feel like she has self-worth, that she's working towards a goal.
Yes.
That's just as important as the help.
And we've
giving.
Implemented a few things like that because we think that's so important too. Like when they come in, We offer them, they can either make coffee or hot chocolate or tea or water. We've got a refrigerator, we've got snacks there. So we let them come in and make those decisions because they probably have never been able to say, sure, I'd like some coffee, or sure, I'd like a snack,
Yes.
And so we just kind of, they are important when they walk through our doors. There is no judgment when they walk through our doors. We may not necessarily approve of their lifestyle, but that is not our goal. At the time, our goal is to meet their current needs. And once we meet their current needs, then we develop that trust with them and that relationship. And then they might listen to the words that we have to tell them.
Absolutely. And we talked about that beforehand, that we're walking through this acronym in our Sunday mornings, kind of in our services, and this idea of bless and earning the right to speak, which is the last S. So if you're listening right now, you just got a secret knowledge. But I love that concept of Jesus. This is crazy, but Jesus walked with his disciples for years before he asked them to confess he was Jesus. He just asked them to follow. Like, just come follow me. And that idea of teaching and growing and having people walk with you for a matter of time. It's not like Jesus walked off and he was like, hey, Peter, this is me. This is Jesus. Believe it right now. He made lots of mistakes. Proved it, exactly. And then by the time he asks, he's kind of gone like, well, have you figured it out yet?
Right.
And I think for you guys, you're revealing the love of Jesus slowly and truly. And I think people, and I like to say this too, when people think of themselves as pro-life, if they are not willing to extend generosity, gifts, and sit down with someone that's in a place of hurt or fear or anxiety, or if you haven't been around a screaming baby,
right? You've described most of our clients right there.
I think that's where the rubber really meets the road. And so helping or partnering with you, I think, is some of the best things we can do to extend that not only pro-life stance, but also love that really comes from what we want. We want that baby and the mom to feel the value that they have. Yeah. So let me ask you this,
sure.
What are some of the ways that you've, story-wise, give me some of those things that just keep
you going, keep you going
when you think about
that judgment thing just brings to mind there was a young lady who came in, and she grew up in church, and she didn't, she came in just knowing that what she did was wrong, and she just didn't know what people were going to think of her. And I at the time, I was just receptionist behind the desk, and I said, just because your sin is a little bit more visible than my sin doesn't make it any worse. Absolutely. I said, you're not. That's one thing that we need to get over, is all sin is the same in God's eyes. And so, that's not what we're here for. We're here to make you the best parent that you can be, and help you love on that baby. And so there was another one who came in actually, I want to say about a year ago, and she came in. There was no one there. I'd actually left. We didn't have any mentors there at the time, but I was at the bank or something, and she came in, and just my office manager, Debbie, was there. And she came in and she said, I really don't know if this is the right place to come, but I came here because I need to know where the closest abortion clinics are.
Oh, gosh.
And you could tell she was kind of upset. And Debbie said, well, I'm going to tell you the truth. The closest one is in St. Louis.
St. Louis,
yeah. And she said, there might be some in Arkansas, but she says, you're going to be driving. She goes, oh, man. She goes, I don't know what to do. I just found out I'm pregnant. She actually... It was her very first time having sex, and she didn't even know that could happen. But she was 18, and she said, I'm afraid to tell my dad. The guy that I was with, he's not even my boyfriend. He's just a good friend, and we were just messing around or whatever. But she goes, I don't know what to do. I don't want an abortion, but I think that that's what I have to do. And so Debbie said, sounds like you've got quite a story here. And she said, can I tell you, what we offer and see if we can help you out? And so she said, sure. So she was beginning to tell her that. And then I walk in the door. She goes, Donna, can we go sit in your office for a few minutes? I'm like, absolutely. So we sat there, and she kind of told me her story again. And I said, well, guess what? We're your team now. We're the people that are going to teach you, help you, take care of you, and we're going to be, your team, because you don't have a team, you don't have, the significant other and parents, all this stuff. Well, long story short, she and her baby daddy got together. They're both, they actually are talking marriage.
Yeah.
And she is a wonderful person, and just baby's healthy, and I think 2-3 months old now. And I just think of that first time she came in, and she was like, I just don't know what to do. It's like, well, you're in the right place.
Absolutely. And those are the types of things that I think you're one conversation, one decision away. And to know that there's a place that's ready for you, that's waiting for you, that's willing to not just say, I will help, but then back it up for over a year and then watch this person learn new things, grow into responsibility. A baby changes a lot, a lot.
And a baby costs a lot.
Babies cost a lot. They do. But they also do incredible things. I don't want to get too sermon-y on you, but I mean, God works through children in powerful ways. And Jesus says, let the little ones come to me. I think he's not just talking about, the pureness of their heart, the pureness of their love. I think he's talking about how he likes when people recognize their need for help, their need to be a part of a community. Kids love relationship. They enjoy that connection. Families are that way when they're done well. I mean, especially when they're young. When you watch a parent for the first time, they change that first year. All of a sudden, you're like, I know I said to you, it's like rips the selfishness out of you. It grows the responsibility in you. Ryan was sitting off camera. He said it grows the care. You didn't even know you could care that much. You're like, I didn't know I could love more. And that's the brilliant thing is you walk when you watch this. Is it still as fresh as it was when you started, when you watched somebody experience that?
Yeah,
for
I
the
love
first
it.
time?
Absolutely. Yeah, it is emotionally exhausting. Sometimes I'll go home and my kids are there or whatever. I'm like, I just need to watch Dr. Phil for just a few minutes. Please just leave me alone for a little while, and then I'll make dinner. It's just like you just have to decompress a little bit. But it is so rewarding that seeing, sometimes it's very frustrating because some of these girls you will try and teach them and try and mentor them, and then they go off and just make terrible decisions.
Yeah, you can't control.
You can't control that. No, I always said that I'd love to take them home with me, lock them up in my house for a year, teach them everything they need to know, and then let them go. And then I actually had a client that happened to.
Oh, gosh.
And yes, and so she called one day. We'd been seeing her for months, and she called one day in hysterics. And of course, Debbie gave the phone straight to me, and I said, "What's the matter?" And she goes, "I don't know what to do. I went to a family member's, like I think it was her grandpa, his funeral in Leavenworth, Kansas, and got a ride from a friend. She never have a car. And she said her friend lied to her and said she was going to bring her back on that Sunday, and said, no, I'm not going to bring you back. You can stay with me, and you can, I'll get you whatever you need. And she had been with her for about 4 days. And she said, Donna, I'm like a prisoner. I can't do anything. She's telling me that my parenting is awful and that I call my baby names and I don't. She called him Grumpy because she does. But anyway, so it was like, I was thinking, you know what? That's what I thought I want to do that. But no, that's being a prisoner.
Absolutely.
So I rented a car and I drove to Leavenworth and I picked her up and I brought her home.
Gosh.
And, it's just like, what else do you do? I mean, those girls don't have anything. So I probably do a lot of stuff I'm not supposed to do, but I do.
Well,
anyway.
Those are the things too, though, that when we talk, it's not just the girl and it's not just the baby, it's the parents of this baby, or the mom. It's the grandparents sometimes that are stepping. I know in the original conversation we had, you said one of the last things you had is that you had a mom, a new mom in there with the parents and a grandparent all taking the class together, trying to figure out the game plan,
right?
And I'm thinking that's almost 4 generations in a room that you have direct impact through your education. And, we can all have really harsh opinions about a mistake like this, but until you know someone's name and you know their story and you realize that, they didn't have the resources or the education to know the difference.
How can they get a job when they can't afford daycare or when they don't have anybody to watch their baby or, and they don't have a car, they can't afford to get a car.
Yes.
So it's just this ever, never ending cycle. One of our goals is, to have like a daycare and a place where the moms can work. I don't know if you know where we're located, but we're on the square in Aurora, and next door to us is an abandoned, for lack of a better word, building.
Yeah.
It's attached, but it
Still
needs to be
standing, right?
barely. But
Yeah.
I actually had my contractor go look at it, and I'm in talks with the city right now to have a partner with them, and I'd like to expand over there and have, maybe a little cafe or something like that. That's the girls could work there. They can earn, they can watch other moms' kids who go into other jobs and everything. We're also in the near future, we're going to be adding another location to Monette.
And I had heard it was going to be in the hospital, but that fell through. I'm not trying to open a
No.
That's
No, not at all. I wish them the best, and I sure hope everything works. But one of the main reasons we weren't able to do that is because I was so excited about it. Is we decided that there is a huge need for a maternity home, or at the very least, emergency housing. We had a young lady come in about 2 months ago. She was living in conditions where no electricity, no running water, and she came in and she was pregnant, and the boyfriend, they were living with the boyfriend's friend. Well, we did the pregnancy test and intake and everything, and then she came back the next week. The boyfriend had broken up with her and left, and so she was in this house with random friend, not even.
Well, it doesn't even sound like much of a house. It doesn't have electricity.
No, and
water.
that's not the first one we've had in that situation.
Golly.
And if we could have just kept her, say, don't go there. We come here. We have a bed. We have everything. So that is my vision.
That's what that next location needs to be, which that makes total sense to me.
And with the hospital building, you have to have an outside entrance. We were going to be on the second floor, and in that location in the city, we needed more privacy and things like that. But we're still in partners with them. We still, do everything.
I love that you're speaking highly of that opportunity. And I think there may be even down the road, there could be a chances beyond the second house or third house. I can see there possibly being, but I totally get that. And that meets your vision, which is, that's amazing that you see the needs and they're allowing the vision to be shaped by the needs, and obviously your hearts. So let me ask you this. I mean, as people have been listening, for now 15, 20 minutes, if someone's listening and they're going, I want to help, like, where do they go? What do they need to do? Because obviously donations are going to be one of the things we're going to ask for in a second, but it sounds like there's need for people, like volunteers, mentors. Like
right now, we actually have, since we were moving immediately, so we actually have more mentors than we need, but that could change, next week. It just fluctuates, but we have 9 wonderful mentors right now. Yeah. And, but as far as like volunteering, at the moment, we don't need, awesome. unless somebody wants to come maybe clean this facility for us, we all take turns and stuff, but most of the time we don't have the time to do it.
If you don't ask it, people won't know.
Right.
And I did hear, and maybe correct me if I'm wrong, you're not just looking for girls here or women. You're looking for some dudes sometimes to come in and meet with dads primarily. I mean, these
we do have a
these baby daddies.
Absolutely. We do have a fatherhood program that is wonderful. We haven't had a class for a while because our one of the board members, actually our president of our board, he's the one who usually heads it up and stuff. And we'll have like a class, which we call a daddy boot camp. Yeah. Which, maybe on a Saturday or, sometime in an evening where they come for several hours and they go, it's got a curriculum. And we always give them like door prizes, like, Bass Pro gift cards or AutoZone or something like that, I love it. And we teach them, and moms aren't invited. It's just the dads. Diapering, fathering, what the importance of being a dad is and all that stuff, and how to be a good dad. And then at the end of the day, they go home with a diaper bag that's a backpack, and it's guy looking, not even girl.
And some grease in their hair or something.
Yeah, and we always feed them too.
Food. Yeah, well, let's just say this. I know our primary objective here at Kingsway at this Blessed to Bless campaign has been trying to get items to fill that sounds like that resource part of your educational program. So, we're talking, Desitin cream, lotions, prenatal vitamins.
We actually have our own prenatal vitamins. But yes, you're right as far as like toiletries and baby hygiene, mom hygiene. Definitely diapers. We are trying to partner with Diaper Bank of the Ozarks, so hopefully that will take care of
and we're
that.
doing size 4 and 5 diapers. That's what we're.
Yes, 3, 4, and 5, and 6. I didn't even know there was a 7, but there's a 7.
Okay.
But
Big
yeah,
babies.
we and since we now see them up to a year old, some of them get into those bigger sizes, and the moms can use their points to buy other sizes of diapers if they'd like for their older kids. If they have a 3-year-old or 2-year-old or something like that. So they can use their
6 would be perfect. Okay.
And then wipes, we like the smaller packages because we give them out every appointment. We give a package of diapers. We pre-count them, so we kind of separate them from the big boxes.
And then it's like you do sleep sacks or like any kind
of any baby items that
have to be new.
No,
right? They don't have
nothing has to be new.
Okay,
diapers.
Yeah, diapers not used. Well, I know like car seats, those do, or
so
strollers.
Car seats, we don't accept car seats unless they're new. Unless we know 100% of the history, then then we can kind of work with that a little bit. But we've actually gotten donation from the fire department, who used to be what do you call it? They used to be a car seat inspection station. Currently the health department is, and so they have car seats too. So if you're in need of a car seat, you can always go there too.
Those are. Car seats are more expensive than you think.
And if worst case scenario, we'll go buy it if we need to. So those monetary funds, they might buy a gas card for a girl who can't get to her appointments or doctor's appointments. We do have a financial aid program that's called Alternatives to Abortion, and it's the client has to qualify for this. This is a grant funded program through Alliance for Life Missouri, and we get a certain chunk of change that we can spend throughout the year on the clients who qualify for this program, and we can give like assists on electricity, maybe even a car payment or rent. We have certain parameters, but that's something that's been super helpful. The gas cards is a huge thing, but that's one of the programs that we have. Another program that we have is abstinence education in the schools. I don't know if you're aware of that.
Yeah, I have not.
We're not in Mount Vernon yet, but we'd love to be.
Hey, good to know. We have a couple principals that attend around our. So
I'd love to talk to them.
Yeah. High school principal attends our church. So.
Awesome.
Dr. Ladd.
Awesome.
Looking at you.
There you go. We have called Choosing the Best, and we have actual curriculum from 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. So it's very specific to that age. So if you want it in junior high 7th grade, it's not as in depth as junior high 8th grade or high school. But we just got finished with Aurora. Right now she's in Marionville, one of our educators, and everything is free of charge to the schools unless they'd like to pay for it. That's fine too. But we provide it. We provide the teacher. We provide the curriculum. It's actually an 8-day program. 8-day program. And Marionville does it every quarter. Aurora does it every 2 years. I would recommend the more often the better for sure.
And it's basically don't have sex. Does that basically
it talks about what happens. It talks about being prepared. It talks about what happens when you're, when you have sex too early, or it talks about relationships. It talks about STDs and, all the repercussions and stuff. And it's not a Christian curriculum, but you can see the connotations throughout it. Yeah. And it's just, it's very good.
Is it a healthy place? I mean, we were talking about this before. Kids need, adults even, need a place to basically have a Google search bar that's a healthy voice. This would be the type of thing that a school system could use this curriculum as kind of a place where a 7th grader can ask the questions.
Yes. And our instructor is amazing. She will answer the questions.
Do you work with churches in that program, or is it just primarily through educational stuff?
Mostly, we can work with churches. There's nothing wrong with that.
Just wondered. No, it's a curious thing. I know one of my friends ran an abstinence program and was one of the educators through an office in Joplin. That I forget which one it was, but that's what he did for years, and he enjoyed that. Those programs can be incredibly powerful. That's awesome. Well, I know this. This is just the beginning of a relationship, and I was so sad to see that the hospital thing didn't work out. But now hearing the vision behind it, I'm very much so excited to see what the future could be.
Yes, our direction just changed slightly. That's all.
Yep. No, and what I thought was maybe going to be
excited.
a little bit more of a momentum killer, I think was actually more clarifying.
Yes.
For you guys.
Yes.
And that to me is exciting. I think the world that we live in, we kind of go through seasons of things being tougher or more challenging, or in a season of kind of joy or green grass, is what psalmists would say. I don't perceive the next couple of years being. I don't think you guys are going to be out of work.
No,
So,
we have a wonderful team of volunteers and staff, and my board is amazing, and we're always looking for new, good, strong board members. But I look forward to board meetings. I mean, that you don't hear that, but these people are so encouraging that I know I'm right where God wants me to be, and I'm doing His work, and it's His ministry, not mine. That's why I don't have this anxiousness. I don't have these worries like, our bank account's getting a little bit thin. It's like God provides when He needs to.
Yeah.
He is never late. Not very early, but He's never late.
He arrives precisely when He means to.
Yes.
Well, I will say this. I have enjoyed our conversation. I have enjoyed learning more about what you guys do. I look forward to hearing more stories and seeing what God's going to do in the future. Just want to say thank you for taking the time to be here.
My pleasure.
And when we get the donations together, I'm sure we'll have a fun time to be able to drop those off and continue the
Anybody
conversation.
who wants to come tour the center, see what we do, you are more than welcome. Right now we're open Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Yeah.
From 10 to 5. We're there regardless. Mondays, we're usually there from like noon to 5, but that one's by appointment only, so sometimes we'll close up early or something. Yeah. But also, get in touch with your church here, and if you just want a private tour, I live 5 minutes from there. I would be happy to come and show you all the stuff that we do and what we've got available.
And I personally, as I dropped off the diapers the last time and got to meet your staff and tour a little bit, I was blown away with how you got every one of your staff. Their heart's in the right place. You can tell they're excited to be doing what they're doing, and the impact makes all the difference. So, Kingsway, Blessed Generosity Campaign. I hope that you enjoyed this conversation with Donna and her ministry at the Tri-County Pregnancy Resource Center, and I hope that you'll take advantage of the opportunity to look for the list of donated items. You can find it on our website, all the things that are needed, the sizes, the diapers, the things that we talked about. They're all listed there. You can drop those off at Kingsway, and we will take them, or you can take them straight over to the Tri-County Pregnancy Resource Center. You can drop them off yourself if you want to. But, again, thank you, Donna, for being on, and you guys have a great and glorious day in the Lord. We'll see you later.